What's up, guys? Dane Davis here. Shout out to Boogie Bentley Dauber and the Indie Kid over at Talkin VAWLS Network on YouTube. VAWLS fans, head over to their YouTube channel, Talkin VAWLS Network. Smash that like button and subscribe, baby. Go Big Orange.
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley, and it is game week. It's Kentucky week. Feels like we've suffered through the longest bye week in the history of football. Been talking a lot about the transfer portal. Not only guys going out, potential guys coming in. That's what we're going to do again today. Kayden Lyles, 6'3", 325-pound lineman, is in the transfer portal. We're going to talk about that, and we're also going to talk a little bit about Tennessee's offensive line depth. But before we get into it, do me a favor, go ahead and smash that thumbs up just below the video. If you just take 2 seconds and hit that little thumbs up, it helps the channel, helps us grow, helps us reach more of an audience. We would be very appreciative of that. Also, if you're new to the Talkin VAWLS Network, welcome. We're not experts. We're not insiders. We are fans just like you. If you enjoy the content here, go ahead and subscribe. Click that bell for notifications. You won't miss out when we go live, when we drop videos. We will be live tonight, Monday night, different time. We had to make a slight change of plans. We'll be live tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope you'll tune into that. We'll be breaking down Kentucky, talking about some things. Just join us for a good time. We'd appreciate it. But let's go ahead and jump into this article. This is Wisconsin football. Offensive lineman Kayden Lyles to enter transfer portal. Written by Drew Ham. The former 4-star offensive lineman will play his last season somewhere other than Madison. And we talk a lot about the transfer portal, and, talk out of both sides of our mouths a little bit, because you always ask why is this kid going into the transfer portal? Well, in the case of Kayden Lyles, it seems like nothing more than playing time. But the positive thing about this, I know a lot of people don't like it, a lot of people do like the portal. The positive for us as Tennessee fans, this gives Josh Heupel an opportunity to speed up this rebuild process. Kids are seeing what Josh Heupel and this offense are doing. They're competitive in every game that they have played. And I think, players take notice, recruits take notice of that. And the transfer portal is a way that Josh Heupel can speed up this process. And we look at the class of 22, the recruiting, the incoming high school kids. Let's pull up the offensive line here. You can see Addison Nichols there, 4-star, big-time recruit for Josh Heupel. Then they've got a couple of more guys, Maurice Clipper on the interior offensive line, and then Messiah Reddick and Brian Grant out at the tackle position. This offensive line right now is depleted. We talked about, the fact that you've got big Dane Davis, and kudos to Dane Davis for working his way out there, getting some playing time. Heard about what a good camp he had. Former walk-on out there. There was a point earlier in the season, you had Ollie Lane at guard, you had former walk-on Dane Davis out there, and you had a walk-on running back carrying the football, but yet this football team continues to be competitive week in and week out, and I think kids are going to start to take notice there. But when you look at the offensive line, more than likely Cade Mays going to the NFL. You would have to assume that's what he's going to do. So the way that Josh Heupel can speed up this process is by bringing a guy like Kayden Lyles in. Now let's take a look at the article here. It says on Monday afternoon, Wisconsin Badgers offensive lineman Kayden Lyles announced on Twitter that he will be entering the transfer portal and using his last year of eligibility at a new program. Says he's appeared in 5 of Wisconsin's 7 games this season, but hasn't seen the field since the Illinois game. So again, you ask why. Why is Kayden Lyles going into the transfer portal? Well, it seems to be the case of playing time. He's going to bail out, take a business trip, similar to Caleb Tremblay, what he did, come in one and done. And I know, a lot of you have left comments talking about guys coming in, who you should go after, people talking about Spencer Rattler because it was in the news. And whether or not you take a chance on a guy like this, that's a one and done. You have to rebuild your roster. Well, the way that Tennessee's depth is right now on the offensive line, go get Kayden Lyles. I think he would be a perfect fit, a guy that's, he's got some versatility, a guy that's got some experience. He's a veteran guy. Come in, go to work. He can add depth to your offensive line. I just pulled up the incoming freshmen. Bring those guys along. Give them a year to put on some size in a college strength and conditioning program. Give them a year to learn college football underneath a guy like Kayden Lyles. You can see here the post that he made on Twitter announcing that he would be leaving. But let's go down and read a little bit more about Kayden Lyles here. It says, while he is still listed as the backup center on the depth chart that was released Monday morning, one can safely assume that he won't be in that position on Saturday. Lyles, a native of Madison, was a 4-star prospect coming out of high school back in 2017, had offers from schools like Michigan, Michigan State, Arizona State, Notre Dame, Ohio State, Oklahoma, and Southern Cal. It says here he ended up redshirting his first year on campus. And again, that goes back to the incoming freshman, Addison Nichols. The kid's got a ton of potential, but do you really want to throw Addison Nichols to the Wolves as a true freshman? Give him a year to develop. May not have a choice. Says Lyles started 7 games his redshirt freshman season just on the defensive line instead of the offensive line. That's very interesting that he made that switch, just transitioned back to the offensive line recently. Says in his career, Lyles started 16 games, 4 at guard, 5 at center, 7 at defensive end, and appeared in 34. And again, talking about versatility, Tennessee clearly needs to go after him as an offensive lineman. But the fact he can play center, he can play guard. Most guys on the inside can. Cooper May's going to be back. He's going to lock up that center position. But I just think this is a fit, man. I hope Tennessee goes down this road. It says going into the season, Lyles was projected to be the starting center for a revamped Wisconsin offensive line, but he was beaten out for the position by a sophomore, Joe Tippmann. With a younger player in front of him, the writing was on the wall for Lyles if you wanted more playing time in his final season. And I want to clarify some things. Talking about Harrison Bailey, a lot of people get upset when you use the word quit. But it is what it is. And it applies here to Kayden Lyles. He is quitting on his team in the middle of the season. Now, listen to the full context here. I'm not saying I don't blame these guys for going into the transfer portal and seeking playing time. I don't blame them. What I do have a problem with is quitting on your team in the middle of the season. There's a difference between the two. There's nothing wrong with looking out for yourself, going somewhere that you can get some playing time. It's the new wave of college football. It is what it is. What I don't like is what Kayden Lyles has done here, what Harrison Bailey has done. I don't like entering the transfer portal mid-season. And I get it. I know the reasons why. I understand. Once you enter that portal, other football teams can contact you. You can begin the recruiting process for yourself. Still not a fan of bailing out on your team. Going back just on the Harrison Bailey thing. Well, he's got to take care of himself. He's got to look out for him. He's got to start the recruiting process. He left his team with 2 scholarship quarterbacks. God forbid Joe Milton and Hendon Hooker get hurt. Tennessee doesn't have another scholarship quarterback on the roster. You committed to this team. You committed to the 2021 season. You're quitting. You're quitting. Article goes on to say Lyles is now the 5th player to leave the Wisconsin program and enter the transfer portal this season, following wide receiver Devin Chandler, running backs Antoine Roberts, Jalen Berger, and Loyal Crawford. Then it goes on to give his full statement there from Twitter. But another player into the portal, Kayden Lyles, again, 6'3", 325 pounds. Looking through some of the scouting reports, really good in run blocking. Struggles a little bit with pass protection, but again, he's a versatile guy. Gives you an option on the inside of the offensive line. We saw Cooper Mays banged up, and just how much this offensive line struggled. Now, does Kayden Lyles want to come here and compete? We'll find out. We'll find out if Josh Heupel is interested in going down this road. I just think when you look into the offensive, or when you look into the transfer portal, Tennessee has got to get help on the offensive line. It should be the priority. And credit to Josh Heupel for what he's done in the class of 22. Again, landing 4 offensive linemen is huge. This team needs help. We talk about depth all the time. Kayden Lyles can immediately add depth. I get it. He's a one and done guy, but he can help get you through the 2022 season while you bring along some of the younger guys. And I really think Tennessee is going to see some momentum in the class of 23, the class of 24, if Josh Heupel continues to develop and continues to compete the way that they have been. But leave me your thoughts on this. Hit that comment section. I know there's a lot to unpack there. Talking about Kayden Lyles. Does Tennessee go down this road? Would you be looking to add an offensive lineman? But also the whole quitting thing in general. I'm curious what you guys think about the transfer portal. I know there's a lot of people kind of on both sides of the fence. But do you not think that a guy should be committed to finishing the season? I almost think you shouldn't even be allowed to enter the transfer portal mid-year. It just opens up the opportunity for kids to quit, for kids to walk out. You know, going into the year, we're talking about 5 quarterbacks, 5 scholarship quarterbacks. People say, why would you go get Joe Milton? Why would you add another scholarship quarterback? But then Caden Salter gets dismissed. Brian Maurer quits. Harrison Bailey quits. Now you're from 5 to 2 with 4 games left in the season. This is, as much as I talk out of both sides of my mouth, it's ruining college football, but it also gives you an opportunity to rebuild in college football. But hit that comments. Let me know what you think. If you want to check out the official merchandise of the Talkin VAWLS Network, go to bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. And if you have not done so yet, please smash that thumbs up on the way out the door. Join us live tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern for Talkin VAWLS Live. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.
The songs howl like we poets at an arcade, soaking moonlit falls, unbroken past this in